is the best I have seen here in Afghanistan. This is an indication of your skill, your courage, and most of your dedication. And in the face of your capability, the enemy cannot win.
In the 2000s, British Special Forces created 2 elite units of Afghan fighters to help during the war in Afghanistan. Initially used for taking down drug networks, the units soon developed counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency capabilities, helping British forces track and capture Taliban leaders. The units were called Commando Force 333 and Afghan Territorial Force 444 and became known as the Triples.
As soon as these units were created, it was a complete symbiotic partnership. You lived with them, planned with them, deployed with them, and were completely embedded. We were one unit. We ate together, fought together, died together. You couldn't work more hand in glove with the British. They're the closest partners we've had in any conflict for that duration on that scale.
The Afghan unit served in such close partnership with British forces that members received a salary from the British government, many right up until the fall of Kabul in 2021. Yet despite this, most of the Triple soldiers have been told by the Ministry of Defence that they are not eligible for relocation to the UK because they did not work closely or in partnership with the British. Abandoned by Britain, Triples members are being tortured, murdered, or disappeared by the Taliban. In a 6-month-long investigation, The Independent, in collaboration with investigative newsroom Lighthouse Reports and Sky News, has identified 24 such cases to a high degree of certainty. The majority are still trapped in Afghanistan, but some have fled to neighbouring Pakistan or Iran.
I have worked for 14 years in the 444 unit. After the collapse of the government and the Taliban arrested me, and I was in their custody for 9 months. Because of their torture, I'm in this situation. I have provided money to the Taliban, and in return, they released me from their prison. I have paid $3,000 to release me, and then I fled to Iran. The problems that we had in Afghanistan are also facing me in Iran, and I'm in this situation. I don't know what to do.
One of the former Triple soldiers, Riaz Ahmadzai, was shot dead in April 2023. He was attacked during a rare trip out of his home for groceries by 2 men on a motorcycle. His father told us that he had been killed because of his previous work with British forces. For trusting British forces, he paid the price with his life, he told us. Another former Triple explains how he was targeted by Taliban members who beat him and left him for dead in a dried-up canal.
They came after me a month ago and took me to the district governor's office, but the elders released me of a guarantee. But yesterday they arrested me again. They were accusing me of having 20 rifles from the previous government. I told them that I didn't have any rifles and that I was an ordinary soldier with 1 rifle, which I have already handed over, and I have a receipt for it. Then the other Taliban member said that he has nothing to give, pointing to me, and that they should kill me. Then they started beating me with a rifle.
Others have been forced into a life of destitution, unable to find work because they have to move location every month to escape the Taliban.
We have 3 square metre by 4 square metre rooms. There are no windows. We have put plastic here to block the hot or cold weather. It's because of the bad economy and we aren't able to pay for the windows. It has a door and it's a tiny room. This is the whole place that our big family lives in. The room is so small that I cannot take a video of it properly. There is no work and we are not allowed to work. Our situation is very bad.
The Ministry of Defence's rejection of these former Afghan Special Forces soldiers is thought to be in breach of the department's own Afghan Relocations and Assistance Policy, which is for Afghan citizens who worked for or with the UK government in Afghanistan in exposed or meaningful roles. The rejection for help for many of these Afghans is currently being challenged in a legal action against the government, with the issue recently being raised in a select committee.
Lord Sedwill, former Cabinet Secretary, has written repeatedly to the Home Secretary about the Afghan Special Forces Unit. It was called CF333. They were set up by the UK, run by the UK to tackle drug trafficking, organised crime and terrorism. According to Mark Sedwill, they were the most effective, loyal and resilient unit in the whole of the Afghan forces, and yet they have been told that they are ineligible for ARAP. How can cases of that obvious, I would argue, and that blatant ineligibility being raised by a former Cabinet Secretary still have not been resolved? And what hope does that give to people who don't have people like Mark Sedwill fighting in their corner?
Responding to this investigation, an MOD spokesperson said, "The UK government has made an ambitious and generous commitment to help eligible people in Afghanistan. So far, we have brought around 24,600 people to safety, including thousands of people eligible for our Afghan schemes. The MOD has never issued blanket decisions on applications from any cohort who have applied to the ARAP scheme. All eligibility decisions are made on a case-by-case basis against strict criteria taken in accordance with the immigration rules and based on evidence provided by individuals." One former Triples interpreter, rejected by the MOD's scheme and currently in Afghanistan, had the following words for the officials who had refused his plea for help.
"Dear government, I lost my job and I live far from my province and home, and I don't know what's gonna be happen to me and my family. Dear people of the UK, I am an educated person and I don't want charity from you. I want my right. And I hope that you will take a responsible decision about my case because my life and my family are in danger.